Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have an amazing English story that will help you improve your listening, learn new words, and practice English. So grab your headphones, relax, and let's dive in. There are stories that begin with glory, and there are stories that begin with hunger. This one begins with a boy, alone on an island, kicking a worn-out ball across a cracked street, dreaming of a world he could not yet see. His name was Cristiano, a child from Madeira, born not into fame but into fire, a fire that burned quietly deep inside, long before the world ever learned his name. The sea surrounded him, the mountains rose behind him, and the wind carried his only dream, to become someone no one could ignore. He wasn't tall then, he wasn't strong, but when he ran, you could see it, that something. That strange, invisible light that only exists in those who refuse to give up. Football wasn't a game to him. It was survival. It was escape. It was the one language that didn't care where you came from. He left home at 12. A child alone in Lisbon, crying at night because he missed his family. They said he wouldn't make it. They laughed at his accent, mocked his tears, called him fragile. But he ran. He always ran. Every insult became fuel. Every doubt became fire, every fall a reason to rise again. He trained until his legs trembled, until the world blurred around him, until pain became just another sound in the distance. He didn't chase success. He chased perfection, a thing that never truly exists, but which gives meaning to those who dare to chase it. Years passed. The boy from Madeira became a man. His body hardened, his will sharpened. He turned discipline into art, obsession into purpose. When Manchester United signed him, he wasn't just another young player. He was a storm disguised as a man. The stadium lights found him, and for the first time, the world saw what he already knew. That talent is nothing without madness. But even then, behind every goal, behind every celebration, there was silence. The same silence he'd known since childhood, a voice whispering, "You are not enough." So he worked harder. Always harder. While others rested, he trained. While others doubted, he counted. Hours, touches, runs, repetitions. Because he believed something few ever do, that greatness isn't given. It's built alone in the dark. When he moved to Real Madrid, the pressure became a mountain. Every miss was an insult. Every loss a wound. The crowd cheered, but they also watched, waiting for him to fall. He didn't. He shattered records, rewrote history, turned numbers into poetry. Goals weren't goals anymore, they were memories, each one carved into time with precision and fire. But for all his triumphs, his true story wasn't about football. It was about control, about a man who refused to let the world decide who he was. Behind the cameras, behind the trophies, there was a father, a son, a man still running from something he couldn't name. He lost his father early, a quiet pain that never left him. Every goal he scored was, in some way, a conversation with the man who wasn't there to see it. He played not just to win, but to be remembered. Because to him, forgetting was worse than failure. He became a symbol of discipline, of ego, of ambition. Some loved him, some hated him, but everyone watched, because even his flaws were magnetic. He wasn't pretending to be humble. He was honest about what drove him, the fear of mediocrity, the need to stay ahead, the refusal to be forgotten. And that honesty, that raw, unfiltered hunger, is what made him eternal. Years passed. The boy from Madeira grew older. The cheers softened. The critics grew louder again. "You're finished," they said. "You're too old." But they forgot who they were talking to. Ronaldo was never chasing youth. He was chasing legacy, and legacy doesn't age. He changed teams, changed legs, but never changed himself, because he understood something that few ever do, that the fight is never against others. It's against time, against your own limits. Against the silence that asks you every night, are you still who you once were? Even now, when his body moves slower, his eyes still burn with the same light. He trains alone, in empty stadiums, as if the world still depends on his next goal. Because to him it does. The goal was never just a number. It was a heartbeat, a way of staying alive. Cristiano Ronaldo is not a story about talent. It's a story about control, obsession, and defiance. About the boy who left home with nothing and built a kingdom with his bare hands. He showed the world that perfection isn't about being flawless, it's about never being satisfied. It's about waking up every day and asking more of yourself than anyone else ever could. He is both hero and villain, idol and outcast, a man constantly at war with the idea of enough. And maybe that's what makes him immortal. Because immortality isn't about living forever, it's about being impossible to forget. When the stadium lights fade, when the chants become whispers, when time finally catches up, there will still be that image. A man standing tall, eyes fixed ahead, as if he can already see the next mountain waiting, and he will run toward it, as he always has, as he always will, because Cristiano Ronaldo was never just playing football. He was fighting gravity itself, the slow pull of time, of weakness, of doubt. And in that fight, he found what every human secretly wants, the power to rise again. One day, long after his last game, children will still whisper his name. Not because of the trophies or the records or the glory, but because of the story of a boy who refused to stop running. He came from nothing. He lost, he bled, he broke, but he never stopped. And in a world that gives up so easily, that might be the greatest victory of all, because legends are not born. They are built step by step, goal by goal, breath by breath, until even time itself has no choice but to remember. Cristiano Ronaldo, the boy who ran from the island and never stopped running.